I remember being like extremely confused, like how did that just happen? Because I remember blinking, watching TV, and now I'm here and it's 10 hours later.
That's really weird.
I remember looking down at my arm and seeing this scar.
Just driving along kind of in my own head, I looked down at my clock and it's like 3:20 something. In that mile stretch of that curvy road, I lost 40 minutes.
I really do believe that people with like medium abilities have a connection somehow to aliens or UFOs.
I hate that you say that because I think so too. They woke up in the middle of the night, sleep paralysis. He could see this being standing at the foot of his bed. He said it was huge. It was gray. He said he thought it was Satan.
Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, we're Mackie and Amanda. I'm Mackie.
I'm Amanda.
And we're the Spooky Boos.
This looks like an exciting video. Probably doesn't.
Not at all.
Probably because it's not going to be. We were literally just sitting here. We're checked into our hotel room that we're going to be filming tonight. And we're just talking. We posted a story tonight about
asking for any alien/UFO stories that you guys may have experienced.
Because we thought that the paranormal photo one that we did was super interesting. So that got us talking about our own UFO
encounters. And because I really started thinking about it because of where we are.
Can you not?
Okay, sorry.
Oh, I can't even do it now. So we actually have a friend who lives around the area that we're in and has offered to take us, it's a UFO hotspot, has offered to take us to this UFO hotspot. She told me that she has some pretty, I don't even know, she's gonna explain it so much better than I am, but like interesting techniques. I don't want to say of how to draw them out, but like how to
like communicate with them.
Yeah, almost. She's just much more in tune with it, like much more knowledgeable about it than we are.
But super interesting stuff revolving around aliens and UFOs, which I'm obsessed with, and I feel like
a lot of people are.
Yeah, a lot of people are intrigued with this stuff.
I just think that there's a lot more experiences out there than people realize because they don't talk about it.
And I think people are like starting to talk about it more. So it's becoming more of like a thing.
There's still TV shows about it.
Yeah.
I think we should start with like I sound like this on the room.
Yeah.
It sounds like a podcast.
That's the whole time, just getting way closer. Before we get into today's video, we want to tell you about this video's sponsor, Scentbird.
Sure, everyone likes looking good, everyone likes feeling good, but we can agree there's no better compliment than somebody telling you smell good.
When we found Scentbird, we were so excited because just looking at their website, there are endless opportunities for scents we could pick, all ranging from the highest end brands such as Gucci, Marc Jacobs, Versace.
But with those high-end brands comes a high price tag. And usually for me, I don't want to speak for everyone, I end up buying a nice bottle of perfume and then within a few weeks, sometimes I get sick of it.
That's why we love Scentbird. Scentbird is a fragrance subscription service. You choose a new designer fragrance to try out every month for just $17. No surprises, it's flexible, so you can skip any month without penalties.
You can upgrade to receive 2 or 3 products a month, and with each fragrance, you'll get a 30-day supply, so you can try out fragrances before committing to a full bottle.
Even better, if you're not sure on what perfume you want that month, take their quiz, where Scentbird will custom pick which perfumes are perfectly matched to your personal style and preference.
We want to tell you about the fragrances we got when we took the quiz.
So the fragrance I chose was Maison Martin, and the scent is Bain de Midi. Mine was literally perfect for me because it's supposed to remind you of the ocean, summer. The key notes in this fragrance consist of bergamot, coconut, tiare flower, vanilla, and ylang ylang, which are also one of my favorites.
Ooh! I took the quiz that gives you a couple of options. One of them is what I'm wearing every day now.
Oh my gosh.
So I thought that was super cool. But I ended up picking one that I did not already own and love. So I picked Artesian Scents by Sue Phillips. It has a lot of lily of the valley, rose, jasmine, gardenia. Scentbird also sent us 2 additional fragrances, Skylar Honeysuckle Dream.
That's a good one. And they also sent us Christian Siriano Silhouette. These scents were perfectly matched to us. I'm obsessed with them.
I love mine and so far have definitely not even close to getting sick of it. Make sure to click the link below and use our code for 55% off your first month at Scentbird.
That's only about $8 for your first month. I also have exciting news. Scentbird is now available in Canada. Once again, thank you Scentbird for sponsoring this video. Make sure you go check them out. Now back to the video. So we kind of got on the topic and there's something that I've remembered since I was literally 9 years old. Like this happened to me at 9 years old, and ever since it happened to me, I've always thought about it because it was so weird, and my mom and I would listen to so many alien podcasts, so just like over the past year hearing all of those, and the experience you told me, like this super weird thing that happened while you're driving up the mountain.
Just like the losing time.
Yeah, so going back to that, just all this stuff, it made me think more about what happened to me when I was 9 years old, and makes me wonder if it was something more.
What was it?
So basically, and I remember this so clear, it's like one of the most vivid memories I have. So I was laying in bed, it was like 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and I was laying where my head was at the foot of the bed and I was propped up on my elbows like that, watching TV.
Just like on your stomach?
Yeah, just sitting like that.
What a kid does.
I've always had trouble falling asleep like my entire life. I've always stayed up late, so I know I despise you for that. I was laying there watching Nick at Night, I think it was George Lopez, and I remember just sitting there watching, and I did a normal blink, just a normal. And when I opened my eyes just from that blink like that, it was morning and my head was at the normal end on the pillow and I was like tucked into bed.
Shut up. Tucked in?
Yeah, like under the sheets and everything. I remember, I guess, waking up even though I felt like I never went to sleep and just being like extremely confused. Like, how did that just happen? Because I remember blinking, watching TV, and now I'm here at the other end of the bed and it's 12 hours later or 10 hours later.
That's really weird.
I remember, like, even at that age, I just thought, I was so confused and thought it was so weird. I even told my mom, I was like, I swear I blinked my eyes and it was morning.
Okay, you read my mind, because that's what I was gonna ask. Was there, like, you're 9, you're 10, you know what I mean? Like, so you're not that young, but you're still young enough that I feel like your dad might pick you up and tuck you into bed, and, like, that's why I was like, were you tucked in? But the fact that you asked your parents and they were like, no, you must have done it, like, they would have told you, oh,
because I remember the response. My mom literally said, oh, that's happened to me before where I'm super tired and I don't even remember falling asleep. But I was like, it wasn't like that. I was so wide awake watching TV and I just did a normal blink and it was morning. Like, I've never experienced anything like that ever again in my life.
That's exactly what happened to me.
I know.
You talked to me about UFOs, USOs, literally everything that has to do with aliens. Aliens. I've never had an experience until that one that I had. I literally knew you during this. So I was 19, 20, 21. That was really creepy. Somebody else's door.
So creepy.
I was worried it was ours.
Oh my god, I did too.
Anyways, I was driving home, and I don't remember if it was home from your house or like I was out dancing that night, and I just want to say where I was. I don't remember what I was coming home from, but I remember, and you've seen the roads that I live on. Mountain roads, scary, oak trees, like super dark, no street lights in my town really.
Yeah, no.
So I was afraid to be driving home that late. I was looking down at the clock thinking it's 2:40 and I really want to get home before 3 a.m. because I live in a gated community, so I have a gate that I didn't have a clicker. I was going to have to get out and click the code in because you have to get out. It was just a whole...
Everything gets scarier at 3 a.m.
A whole scenario. So not that it would make it any better, but I remember thinking I want to get home before 3 a.m. and I was about 15 minutes away. So I was gonna make it as long as I didn't get stuck behind a really slow driver. So, okay. So I was the only one on the road because I live in a small town. I remember exactly where I was because there's not that much in our town. I was by this little like farm type of thing. And then
Is it the chicken farm?
farm.
Oh.
So I was right by the farm. And I looked to my left and I'm like, perfect 15 minutes away from home. I wasn't even listening to music, just driving along kind of in my own head. And before I get to that four-way stop where you thought I was, which is less than a mile away from that farm that I was next to, I looked down at my clock and it's like 3:20 something. So in that mile stretch of that curvy road, I lost, or whatever, I lost 40 minutes of time. Never, no, I don't know, you have a scar, you were telling me.
Oh my god, yeah, that's, yeah.
Okay, wait,
yeah.
I didn't have any markings, I didn't have any, like, pain, any recollection of what happened. And I was driving along, like, had I not looked down at my clock a mile later, I don't know if I would have even noticed the lost time. Like, that's how normal it was.
That's so weird.
But other than that...
See, that's like the same thing with mine. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like, it just all of a sudden it's like gone.
Yeah, I would have never known had I not been driving. Like, I didn't have any scars, any markings, nothing, no pain. You did though.
I did. I'm not saying, like I already said this to you, I'm not saying that like, oh my god, like I woke up in the morning, I had this sore on my arm and I had this scar. But some time around this happening when I was 9 years old, like very in close proximity to that night, I remember looking down at my arm and seeing this scar that I've never had before, have no recollection of ever getting an injury on this part of my arm because it's such like, it's such a weird spot to like get a scar. And so ever since then I've had this little tiny scar, I'll show you, but a little tiny scar like that big, and you felt it like it's raised. Like, I never thought about that.
No, so you know how scars, sometimes they're raised, like if they're like a little newer or whatever, but normally I feel like you were 9 or 10, so that was a lot. You're old.
Yeah, you're
old.
So
that was a while ago. So I just feel like at that point, usually it's super small. They kind of like fade down and almost eventually fade all together. Usually, that is completely almost. You know when you stab a kid, or like you stab a kid. Did ever a kid like stab you with lead?
Yeah. Yes.
Like, can you have the lead under there? So a little mark. Like that's what it reminds me of.
Totally.
But there's obviously like nothing. It's skin colored.
It's really weird. It's just like, it feels like a little bump and it's like so tiny. And it's like, it's just like, I just remember like, why just looking down and seeing this and being like, where did that come from? Because even when I got my appendix out like 3 years ago, those scars are like flat. Like you can see like the little discoloration of the scar, but it's not like a raised like bump.
Weird.
So, I don't know. I'll give a close-up of it real quick. So it is right there. Yeah, I don't really know where it came from, but it's there. Ever since around that time, like super close proximity is when I noticed that it was there.
It just makes me think like abductions in general. You know what I mean? I'm 2 episodes into Skinwalker Ranch,
so good.
So I'm an expert now. I'd like to think. What are like some abductions for? They have to have different purposes. You know, people.
Before you go any further, I really do believe that people with like medium abilities or like sensitivities to the paranormal stuff have a connection somehow to aliens or UFOs. I really do.
I hate that you say that because I think so too. Part of me thinks absolutely they do, not a doubt in my mind, and it's when we started talking about like, so when I started watching Skinwalker Ranch and you're like, would you go? And I was like, fuck no. I was like, would you go? And you were like, yes. Never. And I think it's because I do have that fear, like, because I am a medium and because I'm sensitive to these things, like, is that something that's unusual that they would be like, ooh, let's probe her?
Part of me really believes that like aliens are the ones that like create these sensitivities, because just even listening to the podcast, almost everyone says that they never had any paranormal experiences until they had their alien experience, and then after that they started experiencing stuff related to spirits, being sensitive to them, being able to see them, like so many people started getting these like medium gifts or even sensitivities.
That like
after
it scares me. Like, you know how like skinwalkers like that. I shouldn't say that because I'm aware too.
Yeah, I know.
Just like how that like is something, because I don't know a lot about it.
Yeah.
It really terrifies me, and I feel like it's the same for people about spirits. You know, that fear of the unknown. Like that's what's unknown to me. Spirits, love them, expert homies, but like aliens and that kind of stuff is just so foreign.
Yeah.
So because I have had gifts since,
there is.
Yeah.
What was it?
It doesn't even seem bad. It walked in front of the camera actually before you got
Was
up.
it like right here?
Uh-huh. I saw you kept looking at it. Did you feel something or did you see something?
I felt like I saw something out of the corner of my eye and heard something like a whisper, like not like a scary one, but like an exhale.
I feel like you hear a lot more things than I do because I saw him before you did. Then within 5 minutes, he caught your attention and you heard it, and I didn't hear him.
That's so weird. No, like I so clearly heard like a.
It's just so foreign.
Yeah.
So because it's just so foreign.
Yeah.
So.
That's so, and was it like right here,
Yeah.
right when I looked right there? That is really weird. See, like, even like that stuff, like people who have alien experiences, they start just having, like, I call them like sensitivities, because I'm not saying like, I'm a medium. No, but just like sensitivities.
Yeah.
Like that. I don't know, but what did you see?
No, it just looked like the figure of a man. Like before that, it seemed very small, and the only reason that I noticed it was out of the corner of my eye while I was looking at you. It was so small, and like its energy was so. I don't want to say this because it almost seems weird. It was so insignificant to me because it wasn't like bad or like good or super strong or like trying to get the attention like of anyone.
Actually, really weird though, because usually when I hear something, I say it right away, but I heard it and like acknowledged it and didn't even say anything.
Yeah,
I seemed insignificant.
I stopped and drew it out of you.
That's weird.
Okay, that is super weird.
What if it was like making us like it doesn't want to, like he's just here to like be involved in the conversation or just like listen. He doesn't want to be addressed.
Well, no, that's like a total. He's like fly on the wall. It like was so totally not important that I was just like, yeah, whatever. Until I noticed you kept looking at him, and that's why I was like, what do you see?
And he was literally just standing there.
The only reason I saw it was because it passed in front of like the top light, and it seemed so small when it passed in like front, but it seemed larger when it got past.
Is he still here?
It feels like he is. But again, just hanging out.
Listening.
Yeah. I feel like that's, honestly, to go on a tangent, something that's super difficult for me about like going from just seeing them my entire life and like ignoring them. Like that sounds bad too, but just because it was so bad in my life for so long.
Yeah.
Like I was taught and trained from a young age not to speak about it, not to acknowledge them, not to talk to them. So people say that like a lot of kids have. Did you hear the tap on our window?
Did. Literally on our window, yeah.
We're on the 4th floor. People say that they have experiences at a young age and then they grow out of it. It's hard to go from ignoring it for so long and just seeing it when like it's really like adamant to now traveling every single week and seeking it out. And I'm like trying to train myself instead of to ignore it, to focus in on it. And so it went from like, I see things pretty much 100% of the time when I go out at grocery stores, but it's like maybe 1 in 20, 1 in 30, 1 in 40 people have somebody with them that's like, again, I use significant in the terms of like adamant or like they're like super there, you know, like super like a strong presence enough that I could see them. Like it's only that many people that have somebody with them, so it's hard going into places like this now, trying to get like, all right, 3, 4, 5 people to come forward and not only get you guys to come forward, but touch this light, turn on this flashlight. Like,
it's different because like when you're seeking it out, it's not like you're gonna have it every single time,
right?
Especially in these places that we go, a lot of them are like, it's like a darker history, so it's like sometimes like why would they want to be there, and even if they did, it's probably not like the best thing, and if that's the case, they probably don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, especially about that.
Yeah. So it's just weird in that way compared to just walking around and normal people like walking by with their loved ones that are spirits.
Right? No, it's something that like recently I've been having such a, not even a hard time balancing, but like trying to learn, like trying to like meet in the middle of it. Anyways, back to aliens.
I mean, there's like these girls or these women on YouTube called the Psychic Twins.
Oh, okay.
The Psychic Twins.
Nice.
And they have like abilities, mainly psychic abilities, but they remember being like abducted multiple times as kids. And I've also heard that like it goes through families, like a lot of like it's generational. A lot of parents and then kids will experience it. It makes me wonder if aliens are the ones who are like, you know how they do like probing and like experiments on humans? It makes me wonder if they're doing a different type of experiment other than physical, where they're doing mental experiments, giving these kids these like medium abilities or something like that.
Yeah, why? I wonder.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Or the kids already have medium abilities and they're wanting to experiment on them and see why.
See, that's what I wonder. That's what I worry about, because I've had them since such a young age, you know, before I could speak. So who's to say that like I wasn't abducted at 0 to 2 before I was able to like describe the things I was seeing, and they did something to make me the way that I am. But back to that note of what if they seek these people out who have it? That's why I was afraid to go to that Skinwalker Ranch, because even on the show they say that, and I believe this about haunted places too, this place reacts differently when different people come in. So it makes me wonder, and I'm sure they have because this land has been around for so long, but what would happen if somebody who was like sensitive, or even someone who was like majorly sensitive to spirits in that other dimension or world, what would happen to them? I don't like to think about it.
Yeah, it's a little scary.
And now I'm afraid to go.
I've listened to so many of these podcasts of like just normal people's stories, and it's just almost 100% of them are like, after I had this alien experience, I started experiencing paranormal things.
Really? Has anyone in your family ever had any paranormal experiences?
Paranormal or anything?
I'm sorry.
UFO or...
Any? Is it like extra? I don't even know the term.
Extraterrestrial?
That's what I was gonna say. I thought that might be extra. I've had someone in my family. I don't want to say who it is.
I know you have.
Because I don't know if they'd be okay with me like outing.
Brandon says that whenever he goes camping and to places like that, he sees UFOs. But he's never had like any first-hand experiences, like nothing like that, which is also interesting. No one in my family has had like anything like any weird scenarios.
Close?
Yeah.
But you've all had experience, like, okay, you guys have all had experiences, like, surrounding you, but nothing, like, major. And you've all, especially you, had experiences surrounding you, but nothing major. And you, out of everyone in your family, I feel like had the most major experience. And have the most major experiences with paranormal. And
it's weird because, like, all this stuff that... Like I say, I was 9, but I might have been 7 or 8, or I don't think I was older than 10 at all, but somewhere in that range. And I just remember like the paranormal stuff getting like really bad around that age too. So I don't know.
Interesting.
Who knows? But your family story is crazy. So
yeah. Well, who knows if it like even plays into it, because this person, they definitely do have like paranormal experiences as well. But we're learning that a lot of my family does. And there will be more coming to that. This person in particular had experiences from a younger age. I think they were around... they were a teenager to young adult. So I'm going to say between 16, 17 to 24 or 25.
Okay.
Like, I know that's a pretty broad age, but I don't remember the story exactly.
Yeah.
So we might have to come back and do it justice. Okay. But I remember them telling me this story, and... the way that they looked when they told me, Mackie, they were still genuinely scared talking about it. I feel like, really shook them. Oh, God. They woke up in the middle of the night, and of course, like, I'm sure you know more about this, but sleep paralysis goes.
Yes.
It's a huge part of abduction. I don't remember them telling me that they were abducted or necessarily going into a spaceship or anything.
Like, a lot of these people, I'm sorry, they aren't even abducted, but they have this exact same experience, and that's it.
They woke up in the middle of the night, sleep paralysis, couldn't move anything, and I don't know how they saw this figure, if there was a light behind them or there was some kind of like even just light in their room that made like kind of illuminated it enough so he could see this being standing at the foot of his bed. He said it was huge. It was gray, had a large head, and I don't know, when I picture aliens, I picture them to be very skinny and scrawny with a big head. He said it was muscular, like so strong, just massive, this thing. He said that I've never seen like this person talk this way. He said he thought it was Satan. He was so afraid, just the fear that filled his body when he saw this thing standing there. He started praying to God, just like apologizing, like asking, like, you know, God save me. Just I don't even know what had to have gone through in his mind at that moment. And I wish I could remember. You've heard the story too, like how it ends and stuff, but I don't know if he fell back asleep, if this thing left, but that was his story, and this person still to this day has spiritual gifts as well and talks to me about them.
So crazy. There's like so many different breeds of aliens or whatever. There's
breeds?
Like, breed. From what I've heard from all these other experiences, they look at exactly like that. They're usually the ones who do the sleep paralysis, and the feeling they bring is literally fear. Where there's like the white ones that a lot of people feel like a loving energy, and then there's like, they have like blue eyes and blonde hair. A lot of people feel like a feminine, like nurturing energy, but like so many people report the grays being like strictly there for like business, like watch them, gather information, and just leave. Yep.
Me having a crisis right now that you're a blue-eyed, blonde-haired alien.
Oh my god, I'm a hybrid!
That's like the reason why when you said that, like you're gonna watch some footage and I'm like...
There's like people who legitimately like get abducted and have hybrid children. That like the aliens take the children from them. Women report like having a pregnancy, they remember the pregnancy, all of a sudden they wake up and the baby's gone. Like they're not pregnant anymore. And they remember being on the spaceship, being like fertilized or whatever, and then however long later they get abducted again and they have the aliens.
So they experience an entire pregnancy. Yeah. Like they're not even missing for 9 months.
No.
So there are people around them to, I never say this word right, corroborate?
I don't know.
So there are people in their lives like around and able to basically like verify that they had this experience. Like I saw her pregnant one day, saw her grow for the next 9 months, and then poof, gone.
Now we're getting real deep, but Eisenhower like made a deal with the aliens, basically saying, okay, if the aliens...
president?
Yeah, the president. The aliens came to him and said, we'll give you this technology, because I think it was during like the space race time.
Yeah?
Yeah, so...
Wait, that would have been Eisenhower, Nixon...
I think it was Eisenhower for sure,
right now.
But
okay,
I'm pretty sure it was during the space race era. So the aliens came to them saying, okay, we're going to give you all of this technology that you want so you can be above the other countries like Russia and everything. In return, we're asking if we can experiment on this many people. And so
like a number?
I think it like was not that many people, but basically go in, abduct them, experiment on them, and they said these people will never have any recollection of what happened to them. They'll never know that we took them. Once we are done with this certain amount of number that we're agreeing on, we'll be completely done. But that's the deal they made, and Eisenhower agreed to it, and he got all the technology. And so from there, they started abducting people, and that's around the time that people started reporting.
Like abduction started getting...
But the aliens like broke, I think it was the Greys, they broke their promise and went over the number, and they never stopped. And like Eisenhower, I think, was like, okay, these people are coming on, they're actually remembering the abductions. Like, you guys said that they wouldn't remember anything, and basically like all went to shit. That's why people remember these experiences, like during the Eisenhower time. And that's when they were like taking women, and like it was mainly experimenting on the hybrid children and like impregnating them and probing and all that. Yeah.
No!
Now it's getting hot in
It's
here.
'cause I'm sweaty. Open. No, don't open
No,
that.
no.
I don't even know what to think anymore. Can someone in the comments tell me Mackie's a liar?
That's what I've been told, that it's like there's the evidence of him making, like, people were there and have come out since and been like, I was there when they made the deal.
No, I have some questions. Why would Eisenhower agree to that? Like, why would the aliens even propose this idea of like a limit, basically? Like, we're gonna come in and do this. If they're gonna give us the technology to get to the moon, which I've also seen aliens live on the moon, that's another one. So there's so much.
They're just spying on us.
Do you think that they make fun of our channel?
Probably, yeah, probably.
Why would they even come down and be like, hey, US president, like, like, we're gonna give you this if you're gonna let us, like, abduct people? Like, why wouldn't they just be like, hey, you little human piece of garbage, we're gonna pluck you right up, and, like, we don't even care about returning you, we'll drop you in the the Bermuda Triangle, who knows what's going on there? You do, I bet you do.
I don't, and I don't want to know.
Doesn't that seem odd?
It does, but I think at the time there were a lot of things happening, like when the spaceships were crashing, like they
were making mistakes. Aliens aren't perfect. That's what you're telling me.
The U.S. shooting at them and crash landings, stuff like that. So I think
Roswell.
They just decided to have a meeting between them and work it out. It'd be like more peaceful for both of them, more like easier for everyone if there was permission and they could just come and go whenever they pleased without being like chased or shot at.
If you were president, what would you say?
Oh God.
I'd say yeah, I'd be afraid. I'd be like, yeah, just not me though. Now I think that there's definitely so much out there that I don't know about aliens and so many just interesting things.
I think like whether people want to believe it or not, like the universe is just so infinite. Like I don't understand how it'd be possible for us to be the only life form in the universe that never ends.
No, you're like absolutely right. It's so impossible. So I think for that reason alone, even though I've never really had, besides that one experience in my family's, my parents also saw the like lights above whatever.
You told me that.
They were in Ocotillo, but the lights were above Lake Mexico or Arizona. I feel like it was the
Was it the Phoenix lights?
The Phoenix lights? I bet it was.
Okay.
Like, there's just so many experiences, not only between us and our families, but I love the subscribers.
Oh, yeah. There's gotta be.
You guys have some good ones. So, this all started just because we're afraid of aliens, but also...
It's a love-hate.
If anyone has any experiences or
photos,
anything, send them in DMs, preferably our emails.
Oh yeah.
Everything will be in the description below. While you're down there telling us about your experience, maybe hit that like button, maybe hit that subscribe button. Catch you on the next one. Peace!